Welcome to Chapter 13, Lesson 5, Relate Area and Perimeter. And relate, in this math book, they mean how are they similar, or how are they the same, or how are they different? What's the relationship? Just like when you're related to someone, that means you're in the same family. So you're related to your cousins, or to your grandpa, or your mom. So how are area and perimeter related? Okay, now remember, we've been doing this all chapter. Perimeter is how long is the outside of the object, so measuring around. And area is how much space is inside the object, so measuring the inside. So how can those two work together? Where will you see them in word problems together? Okay, let's check it out. The Swiss team put its trophy on a table that has an area of 12 square feet. List all of the possible lengths and widths of rectangles with an area of 12 square feet. So, oh my gosh, at first that seems so overwhelming. There could be like really short ones with really long table, or maybe it's like kind of balanced but not perfectly a square. Oh my goodness, how could we even figure this out? Well, do you remember earlier in the year we talked about factors? Factors. What are the factors of 12? That means, what are the numbers that when they're multiplied equal 12? Okay, and if we list all these possible factors, we'll be able to figure out all the possibilities for area. So let's figure that out. Okay, so you could do 1 times 12 equals 12. Okay, you could also do, and remember I showed you how to do it like this. And then the next one would be 2 times 12, or 2 to get 12 would be 6, right? 2 times 6. And then, you could have 3, and then what do you need? You need 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay, so these are possible ways, but there's more options, right? Because if you're talking about a table, you could have one, it could be short and then really long, or it could be very tall, right? Okay, so you could flip the object. So you could do 12 times 1, or 6 times 2, or 4 times 3. But really, it's basically the same thing. But if you're thinking about layout, right, and if this is the front, like if someone's walking by, they could see it going very short, the width 1, and the length very long. Or they could, if they're walking by, they could just see it very short length, and then it goes very far back. Okay, so model all the possible lengths, label each model. So we could have the width being, or we normally do length times width. So this would be the 1, and this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? We know 12, they modeled it too. And then 2 and 3, 2 times 3, and this is 3 times 4. So that's what we have so far. We have 1 times 12. Oop, not 3. Sorry, 6. Let's just erase that. Yeah. 6. 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Or backwards, we could have 4 and 3, 6 and 2, or 12 and 1. Okay, so these are all the possible ways the table could be shaped for it to have an area of 12 square feet, and for it to be a table that's a rectangle, because it's a rectangle. So it can't have any kind of like weird shape cutout table, because it said it was going to be a rectangle. Okay. So let's flip it over, and they have another really good critical thinking question for us. So find the rectangle with the greatest area. Greatest is big. The biggest area whose perimeter is 14. So that means whatever distance around, because perimeter is asking how much space is, perimeter is how long is the outside of the object. So all the way around, it's got to be 14. That's all we know. We don't know about the inside, but we know that all the way around is going to be 14. All right, so opposite sides have to be the same. So the first thing I would probably just try is 1, right? So we'll cover these other ones. You like my NIS notebook paper? Notepad? Okay, so let's imagine we pick 1. Okay, so if it's 1 here, it's got to be 1 there. Okay, now remember, the total has to be 14. So now we've already lost 2. So now we're down to 12. Right? We've already down to 12. So now I have to think, okay, this has to be even. So 12 into 2, 6 and 6. So this would be my first option. 1 times 6, and the area would be 6 square units. Okay, and they showed it 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 6 plus 6, 12 equals 14. Okay, all right, but that's one option, but I need to find the greatest, which means I'm comparing. So right now I have 6, but I need to find some others. So what if the side was 2? What if we just had 2? 2 is our width. Okay, well, 2 is our width. Our other width needs to be 2. All right? Now, I wish they didn't give the numbers away, but I'm going to imagine they didn't. So remember, it's 14. So if I've given away 2 on each side, now I've given away 4. So now I only have 10 left to deal with. And then remember, these sides have to be even, so I have to cut this in 2. So 5 and 5. And that's what they've done here. Remember, on the outside, it has to be 14 still. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So we still have 14. And now we can find the area. Length times width. 2 times 5 is 10. Let's just count to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, confirmed it. 10 square units. Okay, so, well, we already know that 6 is less than 10, so this is better so far. This is our winner so far, so let's check it out. Let's check another one. All right, well, let's suppose we had 3 here. All right, so let's suppose we had 3. And, of course, that would mean 3 would be on our other side as well. So remember, we're 14, so I'm taking away 3 and taking away 3. Okay, so that's the same as taking away 6. So, borrow 14. Oh, well, same thing. 14 minus 6 is 8. Right? Okay, so now remember so now we have 6 and 6. Excuse me. I'm running out of space here, but 3 and 3, and now we have 8 left over. So our only option is for this to be 4 and this to be 4. Okay? So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 3 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So we're still maintaining that our perimeter is 14. Can't forget that. Okay, now we have our formula for area was length times width. So 4 times 3, which is 12. Or 3 times 4, also 12. Counting it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we know it's 12. And 12 is greater than 10. Okay, so what would happen, though? How do we know if we're done? They've only given us these. How can we know if we're done? Well, what if we want to go more, right? What if this was 4? Because we've been doing 1, 2, 3. What if this is 4? Okay, well, 4, then the other side would have to be 4, right? Okay. 3, 4, right? Okay, and then 14, so that'd be 14 minus 4, which is 8. Okay, so that leaves us 6, which means this side would have to be 3, and this side would have to be 3. But didn't we already do that? here, isn't that really the same? It's just sideways. So basically it's the same thing. And what if we made it be 5? Okay, what about 5? Well, if I have 5 on this side and 5 on this side, now we have 14 minus 5 and 5, so that's minus 10, which only leaves us 4. So then that would be 2 and 2. But wasn't that the exact same as here? Right? Just upside down. And then again, 6 is going to be the same. But here's where we have a block. We have to stop when it gets to 7, because if it's 7 and 7, well, then we have no space in between, because 14 minus 7 and 7 is minus 14, which would be 0. So that wouldn't help us at all. So we stop. We stop there. We know we've exhausted all of this. Here it says the rectangles not listed are 6 times 1, 5 times 2, and 4 times 3. If you reverse the dimensions, the rectangle will still have the same area. Exactly. All it's saying is, well, that's just flipping these sideways. But it doesn't change the space. It doesn't change the area. The greatest area is blank square units. Okay, what's the greatest? 12. 12 is the best we can get. So the rectangle with the greatest area is 3 units by 4 units. Its area is 12 square units. So this is the best we can do. Okay, you're going to be asked a lot of questions like these in the future because it's very practical. It's saying if I have something that's this long, what's the most space I can get out of it? And you figured it out by process of elimination. Okay. We've drawn a lot for today, but let's see. I was bitten by an ant recently. I was feeling very aggressive about it. You know, ants have 3 parts to their bodies and 6 legs. Feeling very angry. And it had like these nasty little pincher things. Very, very evil little critter. Okay. I'll see you guys in class.